student loan rates and increase federal grants for college students. She has been an inspiration to women across the country and is someone I greatly admire. We are proud that she has chosen to make her first domestic trip outside of her district, San Francisco, and has selected this topic of higher education. Let's give a big round of applause to the woman who broke the marble ceiling on Capitol Hill. Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Very much for such a warm welcome to all of us. I'm here for a number of reasons. It's a personal as well as an official pleasure to be here in Arizona and have this be my first trip out of the Beltway and out of my own district. And appropriate that I'm at ASU, appropriate that we're talking about student loans, appropriate that we're talking about the future of our country. I'm here also to thank you all for sending this magnificent congressional delegation to Washington. Of course, Harry Mitchell, who went to ASU, who taught at ASU, and now who represents ASU. And Raul is a wildcat. He's the honor today is his birthday. Gabby Giffords to Gabrielle Giffords to Washington. She's a great Barbara from California, who has to go to campuses all over the country to tell students to know their power. Know their power. Well, here we are. Let's hear it for pleasure to be here as well because I feel very connected to Arizona. My daughter and her husband and my grandchildren live in the Phoenix area. He teaches in public high school here in Tempe, and my kids go to Cochise Elementary School in Scottsdale where they live, so they're part of the public school system here, and they love it. And it's always, again, a pleasure personally as well as officially to be here. To the members of the official family who are here, thank you for your leadership, the Mayor of Scottsdale, the Mayor of Phoenix, and so many others. And Terry Goddard, well, what can I say, 30 years ago I served on the Democratic National Committee with his father, Governor Goddard, and so our connections here go way back personally as well as politically. It's a special honor for me to be here on President's Day because it takes us back to the purpose of our country and why education is key to everything that makes our country great. George Washington, of course, the father of our country, is the main president we honor, and Lincoln also in this time. But when George Washington was a freedom fighter, and that band of brothers that came together, our founders, they did something very remarkable. Very remarkable. It had never been done in the history of the world. They came together, declared their independence from another country, with the odds being long that they could succeed, declared their independence, and then they wrote documents that would be, not only for us, but for the world, something very fresh and new. Our Declaration of Independence, of course, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. And at the same time, they designed something that you can carry around with you all the time probably. It's on the dollar bill, the Great Seal of the United States. And on that Great Seal of the United States, they wrote, Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new order for the centuries. The centuries. That nobody ever had the level of confidence in what they were doing, that they would succeed, and that it would be forever. And it was predicated on the proposition that every generation had a responsibility to the next to make the future brighter. And it was for a country that would grow because of newcomers constantly coming to our country to reinvigorate it, bringing their optimism, their hope, their determination for a better future. That's why they left their countries. And it's that kind of foundation, spiritually and intellectually, predicated on this invigoration that has made America so great. And so, for over 200 years, that has been the order of the day. And we must insist that it continue. We have our own responsibility to our founders, to those ideas, to future generations, to do what we must do to make the future better. And key to it all, the key to a better future individually for people and a stronger America as a country is education. Today and your commitment to higher education. I thank the governor of Arizona, Governor Napolitano, for her my grandson said, when you see the governor today, thank her for sending me the Code Talker, the book about the Navajo Indians that she sent to well, he said, every fourth grader. I don't know if any other else got it as well. But to continue to respect our diversity as we educate our children. So answering the call for a new direction that we heard in November, we came into power in a bipartisan way and passed some legislation the first 100 hours that was a beginning, not everything, but a beginning that would signal a change and would signal the importance of issues that that were relevant to the lives of the American people. So I salute all of you, because nothing is more important to your self-fulfillment than your education. And nothing is more important to your families than they help you advance that. And nothing is more important to our country than you succeed at that. That in our first 100 hours, when the legislation was introduced, debated, and passed to cut in half the student loans as a beginning, that we not only got every Democrat, we got over half of the Republicans voting for that. One of what we did in this regard, and in all of our 100-hour agenda, in this regard, to be relevant to the lives of America's families. Secondly, to be bipartisan in its support, and for it to send the clearest, most eloquent message that when it comes to the education of our young people, this was only a start, and there was more to come. And that's what we're going to hear about this afternoon. I want to thank Liz for her exceptional leadership. She's just been wonderful as Vice President of the Student Government. I want to thank the Arizona Student Association. I want to thank Arizona PERG for making this gathering possible today. Because when we leave here today, we're all going to be further strengthened in our resolve and in our ability to make opportunity, which is a democratic and American, not democratic in a political sense, a democratic value in terms of our country and our Constitution. Thomas Jefferson, another great president, said that when he talked about democracy for all people, that education was essential to it, an informed electorate. We also know it's important to self-fulfillment of every person, the competitiveness of our country, and the greatness of our country as we have education that is inclusive for all children in America. And it is in that spirit that I want to, he needs no introduction to you, but to present to you once again a person who came to Congress having served our country as a teacher as the mayor of town, as a person who has commands so much respect. As I said, my son-in-law said to me, you may call him congressman, people called him mayor. We just plain simply call him Harry.